Welcome back from the coffee break. I hope you stretched your legs and you're ready for a happy journey. So we are the Happy Journey team and we are very, very happy to be here presenting our solution. I'm Alexandra from Greece.
I'm Ratim from Bangladesh.
Maureen from Kenya. I'm Suam from Vietnam.
And Sonia from Finland.
And we are going to guide you through our solution for our challenge regarding the hospitalization process improvement. So, our agenda for this presentation. In the beginning, we are going to present you our challenge. How was it given in the first time, and how we redefine it to work with this by applying the design thinking methodology. And then we will try to sum it up and discuss with you and get some feedback, hopefully.
Hey, I'm SpiderWoman 2.0 and I'm going to help you through the presentation.
But first, we would like to present you our challenge giver. So our challenge giver was the Södersjukhuset, and more specifically the Sachsska, which is the Children and Youth Hospital, and most specifically the emergency room. So what we the visitors of the Sachsska ER were children with parents, and mostly between 0 and 2 years old, so very young babies. And it can be really crowded, especially during the winter months. And for example, in 2017, they had 30,500 visitors. There are quite many for the emergency waiting room. So the situation right now is that the patients, the visitors, while they are at the waiting rooms, they keep having the same questions over and over again. And like, for example, they ask, where is the toilet, when is my turn? And they ask again and again the same questions. And this can be really hard for nurses to keep answering these questions. And also, it's quite unclear sometimes about the process and about the patient journey inside the emergency waiting room. And all these questions were putting forward to SpiderWoman nurse, who was keep answering those questions.
So I'm SpiderWoman 2.0, who is inspired by the real SpiderWoman nurse.
More specifically, as you can see, the patients enter the first waiting room. They take a queue number and they wait until they see the first nurse. This nurse does some first checks and decides about their journey after that. So after that, they go and register and pay their registration fee, and they can wait for their turn in 2 waiting rooms, one big up there and one smaller there. And this is where our challenge starts, because they keep asking, as I said, the same questions. They can get frustrated because they don't know when they're gonna see the doctor. And this is what we are trying to work with. So the challenge that firstly given to us was how to improve the patient and parents' experience at the Sachsska Children Hospital emergency room. When we tried to analyze the challenge, we saw that there is a duality, actually. There are 2 challenges. It is about improving the experience of the visitors, but also reducing maybe the time while waiting at the waiting room. We mostly focused on the first part, how to improve the experience, but we were always having in mind how we can reduce the time and stuff. So let's talk about our redefinition.
So then when we tackled the challenge, we conducted more than 30 interviews with the patient and nurses at the hospital. And what we found out is that the patients are generally happy and satisfied with the experience there. But as you could already hear from Alexandra's talk, the information flow and also the inclusiveness, so that people who do not speak Swedish, for example, can better be taken care of, could be improved. And this was also said so in the scientific research that had been done in this field, that the information flow was one of the keys to improve the patient experience.
Because waiting lists are not always the real problem here.
Yeah, so based on that, we came up with our redefinition, which is how can we improve the information flow and integrate relevant information for patients and relatives in the ER waiting area.
Because the stakeholders who will benefit from this are the nurses, doctors, parents, children, and non-Swedish speakers.
Now I will give you a short overview what our solution actually is. So it's called SpiderWoman 2.0, and it's an information management tool that improves the experience at the children's emergency waiting room for both the parents and the children, but of course also for the nurses.
So I provide information and improve the registration process.
Yeah, so the solution consists of tackles issues in many parts. So first, when you enter the hospital, we would like to change something there. There would be an overview map and also the possibility to register with the animal machine, so to say. And in the first waiting room, before you see the nurse, there would be also an overview map and wall screens. And after the nurse, in the second waiting you also some screens on the walls, and overview map would guide you further. And what the solution does, it reduces the administrative tasks of the staff and provides information for the parents, and includes non-Swedish speakers by including symbols and the choice of language, and it also makes the hospital visit more fun for the kids. And now Tuongo will walk you through the solution more in detail.
So now we will go into details how the solution might work. At the first stage, when entering, there will be the registrations with the animal machine and also the overview map as mentioned earlier. So the customer journey begins with the patients enter the hospital, take the queue number, and go to the first waiting room for the first nurse to come and see. And this is a typical queue ticket dispenser that is available in almost everywhere. This works perfectly fine for now, but we're wondering how does it work really perfectly in the waiting room at the emergency area. And this is a vending animal toys machine, when you usually try your best to grab your favorite animal. So you might wonder, this could be fun, but how to queue for now? And you might have the questions like, why animals and not the number or anything else? Well, it's important to keep in mind that this is emergency room, where the situation is very dynamic and it keeps changing all the time. So when you get the number and you first come, it doesn't guarantee that you get the treatment right away. So we have prototyped both the paper and the digital versions for the screen for the animal machine. And to enter the queue, you get to pick your own choice of your favorite animal. And after picking the animals, there will be two options pop up in the screen, asking you if you can register yourself and briefly describe your symptoms. You can either choose yes and to help speed up the assessment of the nurses, or no and continue normally to the first waiting room. For the yes options, you will register by filling in your name, personal number, telephone and addresses. To describe your symptoms, there will be a couple basic questions asking if you have fevers, injuries or breathing problems. And after finishing this, you will continue to the first waiting room and wait for your turn. And as mentioned earlier, there will be also the update screen in every waiting room, and this is the first waiting room where you wait to see the first nurse come and check your condition. This is a kids-friendly conversation between very cute animals that shows the upcoming 3 turns, and also week ones will get to go first, and this will help the patient get an overview of the current situation around them, and also to prepare in advance when your turn comes. Similarly, in the first waiting room, in the second waiting room, there will be also the update screen of the queue, and the next 3 turns. You can also see that in the corner there's the SpiderWoman that pop up frequently, giving information such as where to find the food, drinks, and toilet, for example. Along with the queue update screen, we have also this real-time information board to show the amount of patients are waiting now at the moment, and also the amount of doctors and nurses are currently working. On the other half of the screen, there will be the jumbo times that give you more general information about bigger pictures, for example, the amount of patients, weekly, monthly, and yearly in the emergency room. Other information regarding the hospital information, such as the amount of doctors and nurses employed, or more general information is also provided. And we understand that the concept of the animal machine can be quite confusing, so that's why it's important to have in every room this overview map to show where you are and at what stage in the hospitalization process you are now, and also useful information such as where to find toilet, drinks, and food, as mentioned.
Yes, all of them are FAQs to nurses.
And this is how the overview map looks like. So it shows you the overview of the emergency room physically, and also guides you through the process of different steps that you will take.
In case you are lost, you can find this in every room.
And so we believe that this will bring the added values to both the patients and the staff, because the patients will get the information that they really want to know. For example, like how long they have to wait, and when do you see the doctors, and what's happening next. Also, the nurse will get to save some time and resources from answering these repetitive questions. So the next step, we will go into details how we think that this SpiderWoman 2.0 is the best solution to improve the patient experience now at Sachsska Hospital emergency area.
So to summarize the reasons why we settled on the SpiderWoman 2.0, first, it's easy to release frustration because it keeps the parents calm by providing the necessary information that they need. And also, it's a good source of entertainment for the kids because they are looking at the animals from the animal machine, and they're also looking at the screens with all these beautiful messages. And then the other reason is because it adapts to dynamic situations. So in the case of a normal queuing system where we have numbers, most of the time people concentrate on, so I was here, like I have number 3, so why is number 5 being treated in front of me? So when you have all these animals, all they can see are just animals on the screen, they don't see numbers. So it will keep them distracted and satisfied at the same time. And then it increases inclusiveness because for the animal machine we have all these number of languages, so it will be convenient for non-Swedish speaking visitors to the emergency room. And it also releases time for actual emergency patients. And the other one is it's very practical because simply by having those a simple journey map, you can solve a very huge problem that is the people finding their way in the emergency room. And the other one is that it's generally valued and could be implemented in many other hospitals. And it's also cost effective because the emergency room already has a queuing system, but it can only be seen on the side of the nurses and the doctors. So it will just require a few adjustments to include the animals and also make it visible on the patient side.
And it's also going to be a very fun experience for the nurses and the patients too. Thank you so much.
And let's make the emergency room experience a happier journey. Thank you.